You bet.
Right. For now, on what today's Supreme Court decision means for the future role of money in politics, I am very pleased to be joined by Demos president and MSNBC contributor Heather McGhee. Okay, Heather. So we now have essentially blown the cap on what people can give in these elections. What does that mean pragmatically for our elections process?
Well, it means that in some ways the lights are going out a little bit dimmer on the grand experiment that is American democracy, right? So the First Amendment is a constitutional principle. We have to recognize that the entire Constitution is actually in service of something pretty bold and hard to maintain, which is a representative form of government. And we've got a situation right now, and Demos has been doing work on this issue for a long time, to point out how much the entire dominance of our politics by wealthy people, millionaires and billionaires, means that the entire system is really skewed towards their interests, right? We've got elected officials spending all of their time on call time, right? 1 out of every 3 minutes they're spent talking to people who can write big checks.
Right.
And that means that things like the minimum wage, for example, which the president is going to be talking about later today, don't get a fair hearing because you know what? There's research that shows that wealthy people are not in support of a very high minimum wage that would allow a family to escape poverty, whereas the rest of us are.
And we've got a couple of my favorite things, which is charts. We've got a couple, and these come from your numbers. So, Demos, you've shown sort of the distorting effect of a small number of people and how much they're able to give. So that first chart here, it's showing what we're calling McCutcheon money.
Yep.
So that's giving by elite donors. And if you look, the black line there is projected donors, I guess, with the cap, and the blue is without the cap. So if you look, you can see the big gulf between what people were able to give and what they weren't. And you guys have also shown that we're talking about a very small number of people. If you look there, now the chart we're showing now is really looking at the giving to Barack Obama versus to Mitt Romney. And basically what the charts are saying is that a very small number of people are giving a substantial percentage and share of the overall money that's flowing through these campaigns.
Absolutely. We have a large donor-dominated system. Less than 1% of 1% of the American population has given in an amount over $200. And if you look at what's going to happen post-McCutcheon now, we're going to see between now and 2020 an enormous unfolding of more big dollar donations. We did a report called McCutcheon Money that tracks that number.
Right.
But I think it's important for us to not get into despair, right? There are things that can happen, right? Even under this Roberts corporate court, we can still have a voluntary system of small donor matching public financing. Governor Cuomo here in New York actually had the chance to make history post Citizens United and give us a system of public financing, and he punted the ball on that. And that's really unfortunate. We're going to have a rally about that money.
I mean, whenever you have this issue of public financing come up, it came up with the Obama campaign in 2008. You can't compete with somebody who can self-finance and get all their rich friends to bundle you billions of dollars. Nobody can afford to do the public finance.
What we've seen actually is that a small donor match system like they have in Connecticut, like they have in New York City, actually can be competitive. It's a voluntary system. It's really, really effective, particularly at the state and local level. But what we know is that actually we could do something like this for Congress, right? There's a new bill in Congress called the Government by the People Act, and the provisions in it would basically mean that if I gave, $50, which, is not a lot, it would be matched 6 to 1. And so my donation would mean the same as, a donation that a banker could give. And that means that elected officials are paying more attention to waitresses and nurses and regular Americans.
Wow.
And so there's a lot that actually can be done. So I want to leave people with a little bit of hope, even despite this decision today.
You know what? I was feeling this morning like we had gone back to the McKinley era. You, Heather McGhee, have given me hope. You have given me hope. Heather McGhee, the CEO, president of Demos, and congratulations, by the way, on that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations on your show.
Great to have you here. All right. And